And welcome into Getting Help from Uncle Sam. You know, during your life, you probably applied for many different jobs, and when you got the job and you got in there, you said, wasn't exactly what I thought it would be. Well, just about, I'd say about a half a year ago, there was a young man from Elmore County who decided he'd like to run for the U.S., not the U.S., the State House of Representatives, Representative Mike Holmes, and we did an interview with you right after you first got elected and we're going to come into office, but you know, now you're, as we say, you got a little ground under your feet. Any surprises?
I'm now a red shirt freshman officially, Jack.
Now you're officially.
Red shirt freshman, just like football.
Great. Well, going into it, you probably thought, well, this is probably what has to happen. Have there any been surprises?
There's been lots of surprises. I'm not sure I can sit here and list them all off, but the pace, I think, is pretty amazing, and the fact that the clerks, the speaker, all those it's like a giant press board with a chessboard with lots and lots of moving parts. Mm-hmm. And the way things get done at such a pace that it keeps coming at you, it is amazing. And the professionalism and the competency of that staff and the cooperation, they take it very seriously that their job is to make you successful. Mm-hmm. So that they see to it that you've got what you need, you got the information you need, and if they don't have it, they'll get it very quickly. So that's been another big surprise, I think, is how competent their staff is and how dedicated they are.
That's great, because you know, you think about the fact that the legislature is basically in session probably about 3 full months.
Yeah.
You know, from February to March, 3 to 4 months, but yet there's a lot of the behind the scenes things that go on.
Absolutely.
Has to happen.
Yes, sir.
And obviously, we've told our viewers, if you know, you have people obviously that you represent because you're a representative, if they want to have your ear, the best time to do it is when they're not in session, because you're covered up to here in session.
You don't have a lot of time to respond, and people get frustrated with that because you stack up hundreds of emails and dozens of phone calls, and if you're doing your job and where you're supposed to be in committee meetings and on the floor of the House, which is where you're supposed to be, you absolutely don't have time. And plus the preparation time, you have literally thousands of bills to read. Some of them are 3 pages, which is pretty simple. None of them are ever simple with the legalese that they're written in. So even a 3-pager takes some time, but some of them are 150, 200 pages. So it takes time. You have to do that homework if you're going to cast an informed vote. Mm-hmm. And I promise the citizens that elected me that I would not cast an uninformed vote. If I have not read a piece of legislation, I'll just abstain. I'd rather abstain than make a mistake.
That's right. Now, obviously, we're about in the midway part of this session of the legislature, and how are things moving along? If you look at the media, it's kind of like, well, there's a lot of stalemates here and there, but what's the biggest stumbling block right now? Is it the budget area?
There's no question the budget, and as you know, that's our first priority. That's our assignment, is to get the budget out. Senate is way ahead of the game on the Education Trust Fund budget. They've already passed a budget out and sent it down to us, and Bill Poole and the chairman of that committee is diligently working on that. It's our responsibility in the House to send the Ways and Means General Fund budget upstairs, so we're still working on that, and I'm on that committee, as you probably know.
Yes.
And this is a huge challenge this year. This is my first one, so I don't know how it's been in the past, but we have some challenges this year with just making things balance out. We've gotten in this position over the last 7 years at least during this extended recession, when our revenue stream dropped off dramatically, and that's made some significant cuts over the last 5 years. I'm not sure we're there yet in the right size in government for the revenue stream that we have available. So yes, that's been the biggest challenge. Has been the Ways and Means General Fund Committee. We
need to let our viewers know that in your prior life, you were a successful businessman. So you understand the fundamentals of business and budgets. You know, then moving forward, what do you think that we need to do so we don't get in this situation again?
There's some really interesting things to do. I think the last time I talked with you, Jack, we talked about a unified budget, possibly combining the education budget with the general fund budget. That's still a good idea. We've got some bills that are moving through the House now in the committee phase that would do some unearmarking of some of the funds. We've got over 90% of our funds are earmarked. And you can imagine what kind of flexibility that gives us to do anything creative. There's almost no flexibility to do anything with it. So that's one that's can give us some help if we can get that bill through. Then that will give us some help into moving money and do some things that, instead of a meat cleaver approach, a scalpel approach to putting funds where they're most needed. So yes, that's a possibility. There are some things working toward that. There's some big ideas. I've presented one that we're starting to work seriously on with reform of our entire tax system in the state of Alabama. And that would be, my idea is to do away with income tax altogether.
Thank you for being with us, and thank you for your service. We're going to get you to come at the end of the session to give us kind of like a post on what happened during the session.
I'd love to. That'd be great.
And just remember this, they're your representatives. Make sure you let your needs and your wants be known to them, but try to do it outside of the session. We'll be right back right after this.